Hi everyone, this is Vishal Tiwari and my mail ID is vishualsoft@gmail.com. For any further communication, you could contact to me on this mail ID. And today we are going to see an overview on quantum grid, that is cxGrid. So here we are going to see in the detail what are the properties are available and how we could utilize those properties. For this, we would be having two types of grid. One will be the data aware grid and another one is a non-data aware grid. Okay, before going to start this session, I would like to just inform you that I have already taken one session saying that Delphi connectivity with Firebird database, and following is the link. So in this link you can go and just find out the detailed explanation about database connectivity, Firebird database connectivity with the Delphi. So here we have already taken care how to display data on data aware control component and non-data aware control component. So there you would find each and every steps how we have followed and how we have achieved and how we have already checked the data it is really displaying or not and in what format. So today we will be not concentrating on database connectivity much more here, since it is required to have data from the database, but more intention would be given to quantum grid, how we could utilize and what are the properties are available for the quantum grid. Those we are going to see here. So we need to have quantum grid. First we will be looking at for the data aware control component of the quantum grid. So this is the Dev Express component palette. We are going to select one cxGrid. Just need to click on the grid and click on the form here like this. So you will be getting one quantum grid. So when we get the quantum grid here, you could see this is the physical grid here, and in this quantum grid the main working area is a view. This is a physical grid and this is the area whatever you are looking here. This is a view area. To get more idea on this, what I would be doing, I would be deleting this view. Okay, the view has been deleted and this is nothing but just a physical quantum grid. So what we will be doing, again we are creating the view of a DB table view. It's as it is that we have taken the new grid, and what we would be doing, since I have told you that we are going to see on data aware control component and non-data aware control component, we need to have two grids. First we would be working on data aware control component, so better to have one panel component. Click on this and we would be making a property like align. We will be making left hand side, so it will come like this, and some glamour we could add it here. Okay, just cut the grid and paste it here. So expand the size for timing, and again this is the grid. So this grid also having the same property, align property. Here if you see, if you say bottom, it will go to bottom side. If you say top, it will go to top side. If you say left, it will go to left, and as right, it will go to right. And when you say none, nothing will work out. Wherever you can take it, it will go as it is. The more important is client, so it will capture the entire area of the panel. Okay, so now since we have already taken the data aware control component, that is a TCX grid, so what we need to do here is we need to have first data source component. You could keep it here also, and after that since we are working with the Firebird database, so for the Firebird database we need to have two components from the IB objects family. One is the TIBO query component, so we'll be keeping here, and another one will be the IB connection component that we could find out here on the IB core palette. This is the IB connection component which would be utilized to connect with the database. And this is a flame robin. As we know, this is a graphical interface by which we can communicate with the Firebird database. And we have already seen in our previous discussion, that is in Delphi connectivity with the Firebird database, how to create a database and how to set the required properties of, here if you could see, data source component, DB query component, TIBO query component, and IB connection component. So let's go, and this is our database. We need to double click on that and we'll see which table we are going to utilize here. So trans master, so just let's have a look on this table structure. First column is a financial year 2013 2014 and year month. So for every month, the every employer detail will be, employees detail will be here. Say for example, employee code, his respective branch code, division code, department code, designation code, and his respective basic salary, DA amount, HRA, and total gross income. So this is the structure we have for the trans master table, and by which we are going to display the same display on the form. Okay, so what we will be doing, what are the required columns are there? First we will make sure that only those columns we will going to take and display there. So first we are going to take a EMP code, then EMP name is required or not, that we will decide later, or we could take it that also. So it will be it will give a better idea. So EMP name, since EMP name is not available here, so what we could do, we have employee master table. In the employee master table, EMP name is there. So by making the join query on employee master, we could have that column also, and rest of the details. What is the division code, department code, and designation code, branch code. Okay, so what we'll be doing here, the question is, you might be surprising here, in the employee master we have branch code, division code, department code, and designation code, and the same columns are here also. So the distinguish is that when the employee is joining, that time what was the branch code, division code, department code, and designation code, that is entered here. Okay, and when that employee is working through the years together, so for every month, what was his or her, what was the branch code, division code, and department code, and this will again give a clear cut idea what is the current branch code for the employee, respective employee, division code, department code, and designation code. Okay, now apart from that, we did not have division code, department, designation code. What we would be doing here is, would be taking the basic salary, then the DA amount, then we can take HRA also, and at the end gross income is required or not, that we would decide later. Better to have that also. Okay, now let's have query, select. Okay, now EMP code, EMP name, both are same column in both the tables. So what we will be going to do here is that from trans master, we will be giving alias as a TM. Okay, join employee master EM on. Here we will be writing TM dot, we could say EMP code equal to EM dot EMP code. Okay, but there is a duplicate column name, so from which table we need to have, we would be making as a TM dot EMP code. Okay, and EMP name would be coming automatically from employee master table. Okay, so what we would be doing, delete this and just try it out. The error in that. Okay, what went wrong? Oh, the spelling mistake. Gross income. Now we could see here, yes, now the data has come properly. EMP code, EMP name, basic, DA, HRA and gross income. Yeah, but here we could see that for the data is repeating here. If we give the order by employee code, if you see, the employee code is repeating here. So what we need to do is that for particular year month only we will be going to take the data. So let's get year month also. So we'll be taking year month only 2013-02. In the condition we need to add here where, sorry, year month is equal to 2013-02. Now let's have a look. Yeah, only 20 rows are there, and this structured data we are going to display in both the grids. One is a data aware grid, another one is a non-data aware grid. Okay, and there what we are going to do is that how many employees are there, so that count also we are going to display at the end of the grid. Okay, and the addition of any column, this numeric column you can give it here. So total of this entire column we could display here. Here also we could display, and here also we could display. So main basic 5 operations we could do there. One is how many counts are there, counting rows. Then what is the maximum amount, what is the minimum amount, then what is the average amount, and summation of entire rows. So all these things we are going to see one by one, but this is the basic structure that we should know what we are going to do in our seminar. And let's go with the coding. Okay, we would like to have one button here. Okay, so for that timing, just resize this one. Okay, and have one more panel and button. So there we could make the operations for respective grid. Standard here, one more panel, and make it as a bottom. Load and rest. Okay, yeah, this is the caption we need to remove here. Then we could take one button, we could give the respective heading here also. Display data. Okay, and just have like this. We could keep it here. It's up to you whether you need to resize or what. Okay, there is one more property we could see for the button. Here you could see anchor property. Okay, here if you see, if we are resizing here, so button is not moving according to the resized size of the panel. What we need to do here is that select the button and just make left property true, sorry, right property should be true here, and bottom should be true. Since we are going to keep this button on the right hand side, so just make left side as a false and top as a false. So as we resize the column here, you see in the panel, sorry, so button will move automatically according to the panel size, and here we will be making resizing like this, or keep it like this also. And now make the align property of the grid as a client. Yeah, okay. So first we are going to see with this grid. So after that we will be taking another grid, that is a non-data aware grid. So let's start the coding with that. Since we have column here, this is, sorry, this is the IB connection component, this is the IB query component, this is the structure, sorry, data structure source component. How do we connect with our database? Disconnect everything, right click, connect as. So here we get our database path, we need to copy. Okay, and select the IB connection component. Here, as we know already, we need to put it as a database name. Yeah, and just quickly set the properties. sysdba, password as a master key, masterkey, master key, small letter, and main important property is password storage. We need to make it as a PS not secure. Okay, and then just make connected is equal to true. Yeah, now the data has come till IB connection component, that is the database connection is established successfully. Just have setting for the query component also, as we could write directly query as we have we have already written here, but don't worry, if we even if we open here, select this one, and if we go back, so our history would be there. As you could see here, we can maintain the history. This flame robin would maintain your SQL history, so we need not to worry about that. Just execute. Oh, sorry, execute. Yes, 20 rows. We need to just copy this our SQL and add it to SQL property of the query component. This I am doing because we are using here data aware control component, so without writing a single code also we could display data here. So that is the reason I am not wasting our time in the coding. We would be doing specific coding, the same coding, same type of coding for the non data aware control, that is a grid component, non data aware grid component. Just paste here, say OK, and we need to establish connection with IB connection component, and then say active is equal to true. Yeah, data has come to IB connection, IBO query. Connect with the data set. Yes, and with the grid we need to select on the view. As I said, the view is the heart of this quantum grid. It is a centralized part. Whatever the coding we are going to do, we are going to do in this centralized part only with the view. Click on the view, and as you could see here, cxGrid DB table view. So this is a data aware control component, and then here you could see data control property, data source, select. Yeah, but what is happening here, the columns are not displayed. So what we need to do here is we need to create a columns. How many columns we required? 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns. Yeah, now what we need to do here is, as we know, for select particular column, okay, and then come back here in the data binding properties, just select the field name. As our connection is live with the database, so we could get it the required field name here, all the required field names here. Select employee code, okay, then select here employee name. Then what we need to display? Basic, then DA, then HRA, and at the end gross income. Yeah, we could see here, and just say close. The data has already come. As we know, the size for the EMP name is given large in the database. That is the reason this is occupying so much of space. Double click in on this line, so it will come back here. Basic, DA, HRA, oh sorry, HRA, gross income. Okay, just make proper space here so we could identify. Yeah, but as we said, we are going to see summary part here also. So what we need to do here is just go back here, add the summary part here also. Even if you say how many employees are there, that we need to count here. Yes, say close. Since it is not displaying, because one property we need to set, we need to click on the view, because all the major properties or main properties we are going to get it from the view part only. Sorry, because as we seen, this is the centralized part of the grid or heart of the grid. Click on the view. As you could see here, options view. Here you could see the footer property, it is a false. We need to make it as a true. Since you could see here, the 20 has come here. 20 has come. Now how the 20 has come here? Just go back once again, select the respective column, and here this is a summary. As you could see here, this is the summary part. Here we have selected footer kind as a count, so it is counting whether the data type is a string here, still it is counting here. But what if we are click here also, and what if you are changing the ASCII count? So if you just say max, it's not going to do, because this is a string data type is available in that column. So invalid variant type conversion, this is a common error you could get with when you are working with the quantum grid. It is not going to work out. Count, yeah. Now with another column, EMP name, definitely we could avoid here. Basic, how much salary is there. First we will see with the DA, because there are very small amount of values are available. So it's a column number is 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Come here, and we could say, as I said, you see how many types of operations are available here: average, count, maximum, minimum, summary. And if you don't want to perform any operation, you can just say none. The value is sk none. We are making sum, and just say close, and better we will run this application. Yeah, it's a dollar. You could see here dollar and $7,600. So here you do not want to display here as a dollar. If you want to display something else, so we'll try how to get right on this. Select particular column. You need to select a particular column, and here the footer format is there, as you could see here. If you say rupees like this, 0.00 semicolon minus 0.00, just enter. Okay, run once again. Yeah, as you could see here, rupees 7,600 has come here. So this is the way we could format or glamour our quantum grid. So these are the main advantages or benefits, you could say, when you are using the quantum grid. These types of benefits I have not seen in any other grid. Now here, as you see, this is the green gray area. You could see here, what is that gray area? So you can just, as you see, we could move the column also. Okay, what does it mean? This is nothing but a group. This is a box. Okay, and this box we can make it as a group way. Select and keep it employee code. What happens, as you could see here, every employee's record is coming separately, as you could see, with their respective employee codes. Okay, so what exactly it is? So there is a property for this activity. Okay, so we could see here in the Delphi code, press F12 and just select the view. Okay, when you select the view, you could see the list of properties available here. So what we will be doing, we will be coming from the beginning once again. Just let's have a look here. You could see it's option behavior, options behavior. Select here. As you could see, these are the available properties, but first we are going to see what about this gray area. Options data, options sections, options view. As you could see, this is the group by box. This property has made as a true. When you say this property as a false, this gray area will go off. Let's have a look like this. So why this is the use, this property is used, or when this property is used, as this property suggests that group by box. Box in the sense, whatever the column you are putting here, dragging and dropping according to that column value. As you could see here, if the values are matching, so all the value would come in the same section or in the same block, else all the value will go separately, as you could see here. Okay, since there is no common name, so it is not going to display here. So just take drag and drop once again here, as we'll see whether any value is matching here. As yes, HRA is matching. So what we will be going, take HRA and just drag and drop it. As you could see, these two green arrows are coming. Just drag, drop and leave the button. Now you could see here, see how many employees are having 1000 as a HRA amount. So employee number 15, employee number 6, as you could see here. Now you could get the better idea. Let's have a look. Yeah, how many employees are having HRA value as a 2000 here? Employee number 1, like this. How many employees are having HRA value as a 3000, 4000, 5000? So this is the benefit when you use the group by box, and it is required when you would like to give the facility to the end user so they could utilize. So for that you need not to write a separate form coding and all these things. Only when you provide such benefits, so that is enough for the end user. Come back again here, right? Okay, so this is the main benefit we have seen here. Now just closing this. Okay, and we'll see. So till up to that, I think we have finished properly. We'll see now one by one required properties. We're not going to say all the properties, but what are the main properties that are regularly used by the developer, that only we are going to see. Focus cell on cycle, false here. Focus cell on tab. So when you say now, right now it is a false, just say only focus is here and going on the button only. See, you cannot do. So what we would be doing when you say focus cell on tab is equal to true, let's see what happens. Save, run once again the application. As you could see, it's traversing and stopping at the end of the column, that is in the last cell. So to avoid this, or to go to the next row's first cell, how to achieve this? Focus first cell on new record. If you say like this, true, save once again and run. Check it out. Click anywhere, press the tab key to traverse. Still it is not moving. Let's see another property here. Okay, focus cell on cycle, make it as a true. Click anywhere. As you see, it's automatically coming. If I press enter key, what happens? Nothing is happening. But most of the end user are having that practice. When they say enter key, it should go to the next cell. So how to achieve that? As you could see, this property we have made true. Focus cell on cycle, so it is going to the next record. When you are reaching to the last cell of the previous record, it's as a true. Focus cell on tab, when you are pressing the tab key, it should move and go to next cell on enter, make it as a true. And let's have see the result. Okay, click anywhere. Now I'm pressing enter key. As you could see, yes, it's going. Now I'm pressing tab key. Yeah. Okay, so these are the main properties are available for the traversing between the cells using tab key or with the enter key. Yeah. As you see, what is meant by incremental search? This is very important feature I have ever seen in any grid. So what we need to do, what is meant by incremental search? Let's see with the example. But when we are saying incremental search, the respective column should not be editable. If you say true, it is not going to work, because if the column is editable and when you type to search for particular key or for particular value in the column or in the row, so you are not able to do, or you are not able to find out. Because see, if I trying to search for the employee number 20 and if I am typing here, it is not allowed right now because editing is false. Okay, so what we'll be doing, just make it as a incremental search as a true. Try here, and now I say EMP20, so EMP20, no use. So what is missing here? So when you say here is incremental search property, as I told you that we need not to have that particular column enabled, means editing should not be true. So just let's have a look whether the column's editing property has made true or false. Select the column, okay, and come to the place, go to the options and see here editing is equal to true. So as I told you, when we are trying to search and when editing is true, so whenever whatever we are typing, the value will be get typed there, so we will not be able to perform incremental search, just make this property as a false, and let's have a look. Close this, run our application once again, click. Now yeah, it is not allowed to type anything here. If you see, you are allowed to type here. It is, since this is in edit mode, this is not in edit mode. Now I would like to search for employee number 20 wherever it is. Now just type, as you could see, incremental search means what? EMP. The moment I'm saying 20, it's coming to 2, and when I say 0, it has come here. So this process is called as an incremental search, and this is the invert mode, as you could see here. The moment you are typing, it's coming as a E is getting selected with the blue color as a background, MP. It's invert, and whatever the column value you are going to search, only that is having in white background, rest everything is there in the blue background. Now we'll see how another way we could do here is the another property name. We need to see invert select would be there. Just click on the view, because that property is available for the view. So click on the view, and we need to see for the invert select property. Here you see invert select. Yes, when you say invert select is equal to false, what happens? See, as you see here, as you could see the difference here, just look at this place. When there is a invert property, once again I need to click here, invert select. Okay, as you see, this cell is only having background as a white color, and the entire rows are having entire columns are having another background. When you say invert select as a false, what happens? Whatever the cell you have selected, only that is having background color different, and another will be having only white background. So just with the invert select property, when we are making as a false, just see how it looks like. See here, yeah. Now when I say EMP, even if you say E, it is becoming black color, MP 20. So this is nothing but only for display purpose. Some people, they may like display like that, some people may like display like this, and normally people, they go with the invert select is equal to false. So better they will get the idea which column you are on right now. Say for example EMP, when I say 9, you could directly see which column is row is selected. We are closing. Now we will see another properties. It's so easy, but these are the main features, and very advanced features are provided with the quantum grid. So when you work with this, you just fall in love to work with this grid. Column filtering, yes, the column filtering has made as a true. As you could see here, press F12 key. This is a column filtering. We need to run once again. Okay, now this is called as a column filtering here. As you, everybody might be aware of column filtering with the Excel. So as you see here, how many records or how many rows you would like to select, or what type of employee you would like to see the data, just select this. This is what is called as a column filtering. If you want to come back, say all. Here one more thing you could see here, custom is there, but I would select 10 once again. The moment I would select the 10, as you see your history, how many rows you have selected here, that history you could see here. When I say 17, again the latest one would come at the top level. Now we'll go and select for the custom. Okay, whatever the row we have selected, EMP name. Okay, EMP name equals, does not equals, less than. So these are the constraints. So these are the conditions are provided here. When you say equals 17, I will say 20. It's coming 20 here. Once again we would go there, again equals, and I will say does not equal, or I would say does not equal employee 2. So what would happen, what we are expecting here is that the employee name whose name is exactly equals to the employee 20, that one record should display. Along with that, because since we have selected OR, only record which emp name is not does not equals to employee 2. So only employee 2 record should be missing there. So 19 records should be displayed. Say OK. As you could see here, 19 records. Yeah. And see emp1, emp2 you would never find anywhere in this rows. So this is the way the customize conditions, this custom filter is provided, and you could work out with that also. So whenever any end user is required to see or filter the data, so he can directly do then and there. But if you do not want that to provide this facility to end user, it's a simple thing. What you need to do here is once again we'll be check it out with another values here. Basic value, custom. Okay, it should be equals to, I think we should say 20,000, and or better than, less than or equal to, we'll say it's less, it should be less than or equal to, we'll say how much, 50,000, and greater than or equal to 60,000. So the records which are following the condition satisfied for the basic column whose value is less than or equals to 50,000 and greater than or equal to 60,000, only those records would be displayed. Let's have a look. Nothing, none of the record is there. Why? So here I think we have made some mistake here. When you say all, okay, basic, nobody is having here, here is having custom, we need to make it as a equals to is less than or equal to 50,000, okay, and greater than or equal to 60,000. None of the record is coming here. Condition is not satisfying. As you see here, the condition whatever we are providing, that is not satisfying. It's so clear. If you are saying here the less than or equal to, I think we should say here greater than or equal to, because the condition was wrong. So and none of the result is satisfying that condition, so it's obvious that record should not be displayed, and it was happening according to the whatever the condition we provided. So what we would be doing, we will making condition as is greater than or equal to 50,000, and it should be less than or equal to 60,000. Now we can see, yes, only those records are displayed whose basic amount is less than or equal to 50,000 and greater than or equal to 60,000. So this type of condition also we could give here, and is not blank, is blank. These are the conditions or constraint you could say available here. Is greater than or equal to, is greater than, is less than or equal to, is less than, does not equal, and equals. Or if you say does not equal, just remove this, just say no, nothing. So whatever the basic amount which is not equal to 50,000, only those amount would be displayed here. As you could check it out once again carefully. Yeah, it's there. Now what if we do not want to provide this filtering? So what we need to do here is, it's so simple. We could just go here and column filter whatever the value we have seen, column filtering true, so just say false. All the column filtering, as you could see here, gone. Again if you say true, as you could see the difference here. Okay, now we will select one column here, okay, and what if I just wanted to provide the column filtering only for some particular columns only and not for all other columns? So that also possible. It's a simple, what we need to do is that just click on customize here, and whatever the columns you would not like to provide a filtering, just select that column. Say for example last column we will select. Right now the filtering option is there, okay, select the last column. In the options you could see here filtering, it's true. When you say no, only for that column filtering option is not available. Close this, run once again and check it out. Yeah, it's not there. This is just, as you could see here, it's sorting order. It's a greater order is coming here, and then this one, ascending and descending order only. So when you see this arrow, up and down arrow, so it's nothing but ascending and descending values you can provide here. Same thing you could do here.
Virus database has been updated.
And as you could see here, EMP code. Now we would like to filter on the EMP code. It's simple, it's a filtering. Okay, as you could see here, that why EMP2 has not come under the EMP1, because these are the alphabets, so it's sorting according to the alphabets, not whatever the value we could see here. But with the value you could see here, with the basic you could see 10,000, 20,000, 30, 40, as you could see with here also. It's a descending order and with the ascending order. So simple. Okay, now focusing is equal to true, grouping is equal to true. These are not incremental search. Now the same thing, if you would not want that to provide the incremental search for the particular column, that also you can restrict here. But what happens when you select the view, grid view itself, and incremental search, when you make it as a false, and when you go here, even if you select and the incremental search property for the particular column is true, even it is true, you would not be able to do the incremental search, because the view property of the incremental search has made false. So even if I take E, it's not working, since the incremental search property for the EMP code column is true, but for the entire view the incremental search has been restricted, so it would not work for any column where the incremental search is made as a true. Again come back and make it as a true, and check it out once again. EMP, yeah, it's working. 20, yes. Now what if even if, and it's obvious that for the grid entire view the incremental search is provided, and for the particular column we are saying as an incremental search as a false. Let's have a look whether it is possible to do incremental search. EMP, no. So simple. Okay, make it as a true. Once again we'll see EMP 20, yeah. Okay, now one more interesting property, moving, as I think this property is given to the most of each and every grid itself, and we could see here whether moving, we could move, yeah, any column you could move here. Interesting thing is that if you just make for particular column moving is equal to false, say for example first column employee code, we have made moving is equal to false. Check it out whether we are able to move. No, not even we can drag and drop in the group box area also, but we can see yes, 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 yeah. Click here in the main area of the, means that is select the view of the grid, and as you could see here column moving property is also there. Now this is true, that is the reason respective columns you are able to move. When you say false, what happens? Run. Even though EMP code was EMP name column was having moving property true, but you are not able to move it. This is also important feature when you restrict the end user, or for any certain reason you do not want to mix up the display, so you can restrict to the end user also. It's a quite, I think, easy and understandable properties. True once again, and I would go here and make it as a moving property as a true once again. Yeah, now here sorting option is there, whether just now we have seen alphabetically order, sorting order, ascending and descending. Now what I would be doing, I would be saying sorting as a false for column number 1. We'll see what happens. Run. We are not able to do any sorting here. So this is also one of the important feature, whether you would not like end user to change the rows, or they don't want to do any operations such like that. They may say that okay, they are making mistake by clicking there and the look is going or display is going, so it could be a jumbling. So to avoid that or to restrict for that mistake, you could just say that sorting property is equal to false. But since, see, as you could see here, the sorting property is still working for EMP name column and for other columns also, because their property is made true. Once again say sorting is equal to true. Check it out once again. Yeah, it's working fine. And I think same thing will happen. Select the view, and you could just see column sorting properties there. So column sorting is true. So now even though all the columns are having sorting property as a true, but they would not be able to do sorting because the main view itself has been restricted. You could see here. Yeah, it's working fine. And one more thing I think you might have seen here, unnecessary we have taken this display data button, but we are getting the data with the connectivity itself, so we need not to have this button, and you can delete that also. Okay, I'm going to the next property. Sorry. Column grouping. Now just see, when we say here select, we are selecting the properties of the view. Column grouping is equal to false. We'll see what happens. You're not able to group the column, even though group by box is provided here, but you are not able to group any column, as you could see. Column grouping. And the same property, I think, even though you make it as a true, and the individual column would be having here that the same property, column grouping or not. So grouping, as you see here, we have selected the column number 1, and the grouping property will make it as a false. And check it out once again. Yes, you are restricted for the column 1 not to group, but with the column 2, yes, yes. As you could see, this green arrow bar, this green arrow, up and down arrow, you could see means you are allowed here, and when you say this, you are not allowed. For every column it is there. Yeah, it's there. So just make it as a true. Horse sizing. Now as we make it as a false, and see, and this horizontal sizing we are just restricting for the column number 1 only. We'll see, you are not allowed to resize this column, since you are allowed to resize, but you are not allowed to resize this column. So simple. And when I say true, you are allowed. Yeah. And I think once again, if we visit to the view of the grid, you might be having that horizontal resizing property for the column. As you could see, yes, horizontal resizing. So basically what is happening is that whatever the properties are available for each and every column, the same properties are given here itself. So if you would like to restrict for the entire column with respect to properties, so you could do directly from the view itself, no need to go and visit to each and every column. So this is important. Why this facility is given? Because when you are displaying the columns dynamically, means when you don't know how many columns are going to be displayed there, then for every column you will go and write a code in the loop itself that resizing is equal to false or true, whatever it may be. This would be adding one extra line to be executed in the loop. That is the extra burden in the code. So when you simply say with the respect to property, when you want to prevent or you would like to allow, just say in the one line itself. So for all the columns it is allowed, and for specific columns if you would like to restrict, so for that you need to write a code separately. Okay. uh, Column heading on grouping, this also we'll see. This is true right now, we'll make it as a false, and we'll see what happens. Now I'm taking EMP code, still EMP code is displaying here, so you could see, yeah, EMP code is coming here. And when you say column heading on grouping, true, I think same thing is happening here. We could go and see the history. Just press F1 here, indicates whether to hide columns from the view when grouping is applied. So this is the use of that property. And column sorting, as we have already seen, and column row sizing, yeah, the row sizing if you could do here. Right now it is not allowed, but we'll check it out. No, it's not allowed. Data row sizing, sorry, not column, data row sizing. Help is, as you could see here. I think this will give the clear cut idea with the help. Data row sizing, when I say yes, run here. Oh, right now see, but one thing you might have noticed in this help also, when you I say, as you could see, this area is missing there. So what is this area? This area is called as an indicator. Right now we have not applied indicator property, so we will not be able to resize the row. What we would do, data row sizing, we will keep it as a true, and indicator property we have to apply. We need to find out for that. Indicator is a false, just make it as a true. Try once again. Yeah, you are allowed, and the same size is getting applied for all the rows, as you could see. And this is the indicator, as you see. Okay, now what if you would like to increase the width of this indicator? Here you could provide, now it is 12, when you say 20, just see, yeah, it has been. And if I say, so for example 30, yeah, it's coming. Keep it as a 12 only, that is the default property. And we'll come once again, the data row sizing, we'll make it as a false only. Okay, group by sorting here, now this was a false here, just try to make it as a true. Specifies whether sorting data by column result in a grouping by this column. We'll see now with the, yes, as you could see here, and I will take basic. Could you see here, once again we'll come back. See here the 20,000 is there, here 30, 40, 50, 60 and 10,000 is there. When we have made the property saying that group by sorting, means when you are grouping on specific column, so the grouping would happen with the sorted order, means in ascending order of the values. As you could see here, even though the 20,000 is there and you put here 10,000 is coming automatically, 20, 30, 40, 50, so the grouping would make very easy here. So somebody need not to go up and down, traverse there and find search for the particular value. When you have a huge amount of data available in the grid, these are the main basic features, or you could say the benefits are available here. And we will try with the employee code also, as you could see. As it is, I think sorting is not allowed here. We'll just see, column sorting is false, so we'll make it sorting as a true first. Column sorting true, run here. Okay, I will take EMP code once again here. Now EMP9 is there, but when I say here, so EMP9 itself is coming as whatever the sorted order we have given there, so it's not going to affect that setting, whatever the group by sorting we have given. Group row resizing, we'll see that also. Group by sorting will get that as false. Group row sizing, see, group row sizing, this is the group row, we are able to resize that also. Yes, now we are able to resize the group, but we are not able to resize the row. Now what we would be doing, group row resizing we are making as a false. Save, run once again, take it here. Yeah, you are not able to resize the group, because when you have a big value written here and you are not able to read that one, so that time that property would help you out, or would help out end user. Okay, these are the properties which were there in the options customize. Okay, Now we will be moving to another property section, that is the options data. Now here you see the appending properties there. Appending is nothing but would you allowed or end user should be allowed to append a record at the end of the last row in the grid. Okay, now we will try append. Now if you want to append, what you need to do here is that we'll just go with the help and we'll see. Determines whether a user can add a new record by pressing the down arrow on the keyboard when the focus is on the last grid row. So basically what it is saying is that using the down arrow key we could be able to append a record when this property has made true. So what we'll do, we'll just try with that example. Come to the last record. Okay, try to press the arrow key. No, nothing is coming. And now we would be making this appending properties as a true. Run. Once again we will see we are not allowed. Okay, instead of spending time with the remaining properties with the data aware grid component here, what we would be doing, remaining these properties, that is options data, option selection, we would see with the non-data aware grid. So I think we could utilize the time span with that control also. So we'll see all these properties, remaining properties from the options data with the non-data aware component. So let's have a look. Take another panel, put it here, and align will be making it as a right. Yes, what we'll be doing, we'll be just resizing this. Sorry, we need to select the panel. Yeah, and we'll be making till up to this. Let it be here. Let it be here. Okay. Once again we need to visit to Dev Express palette. Here, select the grid and put it here. Select the panel and just make some property changes. Yeah. Now this we should be using as a non-data aware component. So for that, what we need to do is that first we will resize, align as a client. Yeah, but we need to delete this, because if you select this one, as you see here, is a cxGrid DB table view, and we need to delete this view. Yes, the view has been deleted. We'll be creating another view, table view. Okay, now click on the view and give some meaningful name, GRD. cxGrid you can also give here, cxGrid, or you could give cxGrid demo view. Since this is a view, so view word we are keeping purposefully, and the name of the grid we need to give here as a view word we will be deleting, GRD cxGrid demo. But before going to this section, I think one thing we will be checking out here. Just select the panel, restrict here, select the panel once again, come here. Okay, so what we'll be doing here is just select the grid. We have seen the properties with the view section. Now we'll be seeing the properties with the grid section here. We are not clicking on the view like this, we are clicking in the grid anywhere like this. So just check it out whether the grid has been selected. Yes, it's a cxGrid. Here you could see look and feel we'll be making here, so we'll see the changes here itself. Look and feel property kind, this is the ultra flat. So as you see here, this is the ultra flat, and just try to change with the flat. As you could see the difference here. Yes, and when I say standard, it's true. When I say true, it's coming like this. When I say false, it's coming like this. And when I say office, it's a better look. It's a very better look. and see the display here. Since this operating system is XP here, so this blue color is here, so this blue color is displaying. We'll try to change with the another color. Sorry, Windows XP styles. Here default blue is there, we'll be making it as a green, and we'll say OK. Now let's have a look. Now the green color has come here, so see, press F12 key. Yes, so according to the operating system color, it has already been changed here, so there should not be any issue. Once again we'll go back and we'll change it to silver color. Yeah, now let's look at the changes. F12 key. Yes, it's implementing, and we'll go back to our original look. Default blue. Once again F12 key press, and yes, the look is, I think, pretty much better. And you can give the background color here also, as you could see here. Click here, and background color, when you are giving, I think with the view you can give it background color also, background maps and color if you wanted to provide here. I think whatever the image is there, you can provide that image, and that image would come here. Okay, and we'll go to our recent work once again. The look is pretty much better here. Okay, come back to this place, select the panel, resize, and we'll try to apply with this look and feel with the office. But I think one changes, if you look at here carefully and we select the grid, select anywhere in the grid and come back here. Okay, now when this property is false here, so the changes are getting applied, as you see here. But when it is true, what happens is, even if you change anything, nothing is changing. So this is the main difference. I think you need to keep it in your mind. When the native style property is true, there is no change. Only when you say false, then only it is going to work out with your respected selected kind property. Close this. Now what we would be going to do is that we will be displaying data dynamically, and then we'll be applying the values. As we have seen that with the down arrow key we should be able to add one record at the end. So let's work out. I think here we need to have one button. Press F11 key, select as a none, and come to the first palette, standard palette, select one more panel, drag and drop here, press F11 key, align we need to make it as a bottom, so it will be going to the bottom key. Again press F11 key, come back here, caption we need to remove. Yeah, and we can change the size also. Select one button here, click. Yeah, as we have seen, I think we need to set the property for the button once again. Anchors, left false, top false, right true, and bottom as a true. Saved. Yeah, so this will ensure that even if you are changing the form size, so button would go with the panel. If you would like to move the button or any other component with the keyboard, so the practice is hold the control key and use any arrow key. So as you could see here, you are able to move very flexibly that component. And I'm giving the caption for this component as a display data. I have given ampersand before the D character because it will make as a hotkey. Whenever we are pressing as a Alt D, that button will get invoked, means that click event of that button would get invoked. Now we need to write a query here. As we have seen here, the query we have written with that query component, but we will not be relying on that, we will not depend upon that query. We will come here and we'll create one variable here first. We will give some meaningful name s, because the variable will be of string data type, so we are prefixing with the s. SQL string of type string. Once again, SQL string we need to initialize with Delphi's provided value empty string. And now once again we need to add our SQL here. What we'll be doing, press here, or you could do one thing, whatever the columns are there, let it be here. For reading point of view, we will be making proper arrangement. Now here it comes, once again we have to give single quote, and at the end once again single quote to close that string. Yeah, now it's better look and readable also. Yeah, now come back to our query component. This is the query component, connection component. Data source is not required, so we are not going to bother about that component. Take the query component now. What is the name of query component? Check it here. Okay, now say query 1 will be working with width. So to avoid using repetitive using of this word or the name of query component, do begin and block. Okay, begin itself what we would be doing, make the active is equal to false if the query is active. Okay, and then clear the SQL. If there is any issues in the SQL property, so we would not be bothering of that. SQL.clear, then add our SQL with that, add, and we could see it accepts the value of type string. Since we have our SQL in one variable, string variable, we'll just need to put that variable here, and we are writing here prepared is equal to true. When we say, I think one more property would be there, PARE, only prepare. I don't know whether it is available or not, but what is the use of this prepared is equal to true? Because it will make the query execution plan prepared. So when we are trying to make it query as a active equals to true, sorry, the execution of the SQL would become very faster, because the SQL plan will be prepared by the prepare command property here. Sorry, yes, since we need to write proper comments here, fetching the data from the database. Okay, so this will give you clear cut idea what we are going to do with our this type of coding section. Okay, now once we have fetched the data, what we need to do is that just press the F12 key. As you could see here, we make the property with the client, select the grid, click anywhere in the grid, press F11 key, go up in the align property, make it as a client, so it will fit properly to that area, panel area. Save. Now since the columns are not created here, so we need to create a column dynamically, and as we know, we don't know how many columns we are going to have. So what we need to do is that we need to have one loop, and we need to have one variable of type integer. So we are going to create a column, so I column count, which will be of type integer. Okay, now we are going to create a columns, so have comments for that also. Creating columns in the grid. Yes. Okay, now for I column count is equal to 0. Why? Because uh, the index of the column in the either in the grid or in the query component starts with the 0, so we need to write 0 2. And how many columns are there in the query component? So what we'll be doing, query component name dot field count, because if you try to write here column count, say for example oil, so that property is not available. So here the field count you need to write here, and -1, since we are starting with 0, so -1 has to be there. Go with the syntax, do begin and end section block, you could say, and we need to add the columns in this view, not in the grid, because view is inside the grid and we are creating a column inside the view. So select the view name. If you select the grid name, you would not be able to see those properties. So the view name dot create column, or I think you could say create items also. It's as equal as creating a column, so either way it's fine, either column or item. So do not make a mistake here, because the field count has come in the query component, so the field is in a word used for the query component, and item is nothing but the column itself, or you could say field also, but item name is coming in the grid. So kindly do not make a mistake here. So tomorrow you may see that the item count property you try to see in the query component, but that is not available, or field count in the query grid component, so that would not be available. So please make sure of this thing. So instead of create item, what we would be doing, create column. Yes, the column is created here. Save with that. So here a required number of columns are created. Now what we need to do, we need to fill the data in the grid. So what way we are going to do here is, first anyhow the columns are getting created. Once the columns are getting created, the next task is add one row and fill the data in each column of that respective row. So there we need to have two rows, one for creating a row, that will be the outer loop, and another one to fill the value in all the columns for that particular row. So inner side there will be another loop for the columns. So we need to have one more variable here, I row count, pretty much better. Okay, now we are going to work with this, but before going, once again have proper comments for that. filling the data into the grid. Yes, so I think we are pretty much confident about code, what is happening, so need not to go once again and understand the code. If we are revisiting our code after a certain period of time, once again, now we are working for the row. For I row count is equal to, again 0. Row index and column indexes starts with 0 for the grid as well as query component also. So 0 to the query component name dot, here record count, all we need to remove here. If you see, record count will be there downside somewhere. As you could see here, the record count property is available. Yes, since we are using 0, -1 has to come. In another query component, say for example, I think with the T query component, there you could see the rows and row property is there. So rows will nothing but total number of rows, means total number of row count with the rows property you could give with the T query component. And when you say row, that will be giving a current record number. So here record count is there, begin and end block. Now inside this, first, as we have seen, we need to create one row, and when we have created the row, we are going to insert the values for that rows, how many columns are available for each column for that respective row. So just have the view, we are going to create a row in the view only. So view dot, whatever the view name is there, data controller dot, it's append record, simple. Okay, now we this work is also done. Record we have already appended, and as I think in the first session also, when we were seeing the Delphi connectivity with the Firebird database, we have seen that we need to have try block and finally block to fill this data very fastly. Since we have only 20 records, so it would not be taking much more time, but when the time comes, we have thousands or lakhs of records to be displayed, filled up and displayed in the grid. So that time it would take I think some couple of minutes to display, and that would not be a good impression. So what we need to have here is grid view dot data controller dot begin full update. Okay, and the same thing we need to write here also, view dot data controller dot end full update. So with these two statements, whenever whatever the code we are going to write inside this statement, it would make sure that the code will be working very fastly. So instead of writing this code inside the for loop, I think we need to have put here outer loop. That would be better, because every time this property is going to be invoked, begin full update and end full update. So select this control and hold the control shift key and press I button, so it would move properly. Okay, like this. And we need to write up finally block here. Select this, hold the control and shift key, press U button to come back. Now here when we are filling the values, so what we'll be doing, cursor, or you could say screen dot cursor, oh sorry, screen dot cursor, as we have seen last time also. Press the F12 key, click anywhere on the form, press F11 key and search for the cursor. You could see whatever the required cursor is there, with the name and the value is also there. These are the icons displayed and these are the respective values for the cursor. Okay, now come back, since we are going to have hourglass. So we will be going to write cr hourglass, and at the end when the work is going to complete, once again screen dot cursor we are going to put as a cr default. Yes. How we are invoking these properties are, say for example, just press the control key at the end. Again I'll make sure with you, screen dot, if you place it will come, but somehow if it is not coming, just hold the control key and hit the space bar. You are able to see here. So screen dot cursor, just type CUR, it would automatically come. Either you can choose spacebar or hit the enter key. If you choose the spacebar, it will go here like that. Enter key means it will stay there only at the end of the character. Now the row filling is over here. Now we need to enter the values for the columns. So for that we need to have column count. Another loop we need to have for column count is equal to 0 to, as we have taken here as it is. Once again we will be writing field count -1 would come, again begin and end block. Okay, now one more thing we need to keep it in mind, we should make it before starting the loop the query dot first. So by default what would happen, our record pointer would be pointing, record pointer in the query would be pointing to the first record. Sometimes it may go to some another record, so some of the record would be skipped and those would not be filled up. So we would see that in backend the records are proper, and while filling up the records are very less. So why it's happening? So it's a major commonly happening issue with the developers. So this is a, or it is a best practice to have query dot first, and most of the times it's forgotten. So whenever you are writing any loop with any query component, so just make sure that we are not missing with the query dot next. If it is not there, it will go to infinite loop. Now we need to fill the value in the view. So what we will be doing here, as we have seen, grid view dot values we can write here. Okay, so this is something lengthy statement is going to happen. So what we'll be doing here, let the grid view dot data controller here as it is, and anyhow we have seen the values came here. So values part will be writing inside this width block. So I think the code, the intention here writing with width block is code readability, so we could read the code easily. Values, now the first is a record count as you could see here, then the item count, item for the grid and field for the query component. The wordings we need to remember, and at the end you see variant. The data acceptable type is variant, means any data type you can put it here. So record index has to come, so row count will be taking what is the current record number or row number, and what is the current column number we will be getting from these two variables. Okay, and now just write it down. For every column we are going to enter a value for every column using the grid. So query name dot fields, 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 I press the escape key, fields of, how do we know what is the current field? The current field we could get it from I column count variable, so write it down here, and then add variant, values, value, only value. As you could see here, the return type is variant, so acceptable type is variant for the grid also, and here also variant. There should not be an issue. So this would make sure that for a respective row, when we are adding the row, the values for each and every column would get filled up properly in this. So you could write it down here, filling values in the columns, so there would not be any mistake, so anybody could understand here. Okay, so let's have a look how our, yeah, it's displaying correctly, but as we are seeing here that captions are not there. So what we would be doing here is, when we are creating a columns, that time itself we will assign the caption. So we have created the columns in the view, so view dot, you could choose columns, so whatever the current column index is, we could get it from I column count variable. Okay, and then we have to give caption, so the grid view dot respective columns dot caption equal to, as we have the field with their respective names, so dot fields, escape key I pressed. What is the current column? The current column is with this variable I column count dot, as you could see here, display name. It's enough. Now run once again. Yeah, now the column captions are not displayed properly, so just double click in between two columns, let it be like this, take it like this. Okay, now here if you try to type, as I told you that if the incremental search property we are making true, but that would not be affected when the column is in edit mode. If you type something, something will happen here. So what we need to do is that this column we have to make editable false, then only that property will allowed. So by default we could try here, and one more thing here is that, say for example, how do we know that what are the properties are available? So just go to particular column, select that particular column here, press F11 key, and that editing mode is there, so that click on the column dot options, so this property is available for the respective column, so the column in for the respective column dot options dot editing, you could see here options dot editing, because this editing property is coming under the main options property. What we would be doing this I am telling because how to just identify that respective property, how do we get it, because again the time should not go in the development only. So if we don't know or if you don't remember, just go here, find out under what main properties sub properties are there, you could easily identify. So this option property is for particular column, so the column respective column dot options dot editing is equal to false or true. Sorry. So once we have created the columns property, so the view, come back, dot columns. Now we know for first column only we have to do, so we need to hard code here only, and then dot, as I said, options, as you could see here, dot editing. So you need not to remember all the time because there are so many properties, and I think it's very difficult to remember all the time these properties. So go to search for the respective property, find out and come back, and you could write it down this way. Now this editing is equal to false we have to make, because if you see here the return type is boolean, either true or false you could provide here, so we are making as a editing as a false. Now also it is not working, so the inverts incremental search property has not been given. Click on the view, come back here. I think by default the property incremental search property is false there. So the options behavior, you could see this is the cxGrid DB table view, this is the view dot options behavior, inside the options behavior incremental search is there. So how we are going to write it down is there, view name dot options behavior dot incremental search, inc search is equal to either true or false. By default it is false. What we will be doing here is view name dot options behavior dot incremental search is equal to true. So this is the way dynamically we are going to do. That is the reason we have taken data aware control component, how to see the values at design time, means to see the property benefits or their application on the design time, and how to implement at dynamic level. So this is the way we could do it. Now search it, EMP20, EMP20. It's so simple. And okay, now the next property is header height. As you could see here, if you would like to make it as high as a 100, so it would automatically come. And if I say the 50, it will again become like this. 0 means it will automatically set according to the property we have set already. And here header auto height, I think if we are made as a, even though we have made as a true, and if I give 100, it will still work. Okay, so the header auto height plays a vital role here also. And now next thing is navigator. If you would like to have some navigators, navigator is equal to true. So as you could see here, at the end it is getting added, false, true. Now we'll run once again. Now we are here. When we say next, last, beginning, at the end only, yeah. And here as you could see, filter something, and or not, whatever you would like to add it here. And like EMP code, if I say here EMP1 only and say apply, so like, this is a like, so it will come that only EMP. It is starting with the EMP and coming like that. But instead of I say not like EMP, nothing is coming, so only EMP1 is coming here. So you could try and play around with this. I think here more options are available, in between, not between, here. And the customize, same thing whatever we have seen right now. Close it, navigator is equal to false. And here you could see row separator width is also there. Now right now it is 0, and now if I give here 20, this is the gap. This is called as if I say 5, this gap is row separator. Now when I say 0, nothing is there. Row separator color, now say for example we'll try with this to have green color, and 5 I am giving, so you will understand. This is the difference with that. Make it 0, even though color is there, it would not work. Make it as a black color here once again. And scroll bars, I think we'll say both, then both scroll bars will be provided only horizontal or vertical. It would work according to that. Next we'll be seeing, and I think it's the last section, style properties. And with the style, to implement the style section, we need to go to dev express, as you could see here, and again the style area, click anywhere like that. So double click on that component. This is the cx style repository component. Click here. Okay, now you could add some colors also. Double click, one more color I am adding here. Okay, so for that one color I could we'll choose some different colors. So where we could double click, we'll create our own colors. This is our one color we're adding, saying okay. And if any bitmaps we need to add here, we could add it here, and the name is a style1, or you could say cx e1 row, means once again sorry, cx even row color. This is nothing but whatever the row number are coming with even numbers, means say for example 0 2 4 6. So for all the even record numbers, this sky blue color would be implemented, and this one will be giving as a cx odd row color. Oh sorry, I think odd. We have to add it here. Sorry. And color will be creating here, as we have seen here. Select this color and just make it as a little bit dark. It's enough, I think so. Add it. Okay, just save here. Now what we will be doing here, we are just selecting once again the view area here and going to the style section. Here you could see content even and content odd. So if I say content even means even, I will select here. As you could see the difference, 0 1 here, 2 0 2 4, and content odd. So this is the way. This is, I think, only in design time itself you are able to do it. For the filter box, what you would like to add here, I'm just running right now. You could just see here. Okay, we'll try with the filter whether it is applying or not. We'll see this. For the filter, run the application. No, it's not coming. I think it may be something different. For the footer, would you like to give some another color? Just check it out. Will it come here? I think yes, or I don't know. Means we'll try with dark color. Yeah, dark color is coming here. Whatever the color you would like to display, that color will come here. And group and group by box or header. Header also, I think if you would like to display with the sky blue color, check it out. What header? I don't think so it will be implemented there. And in the group by box, any color you would like to display, yeah, it's coming like this. For the incremental search, if you would like to give some another color, let's try with, for the incremental search, another color. Group by box will be removing. Double click on that, and for incremental search we'll give the name here cx cx inc search. Okay, for the incremental search we'll be giving some good color. So for example, we'll give red, just to check it out whether it is working or not. Come back, select once again the view section, come back to the style section, and incremental search, just add incremental search and just run here once again. Click here. Yes, it's coming. So this is the way we could utilize all the important properties of the quantum grid, and I hope you would have enjoyed to see this seminar and would be eager to work with the quantum grid, that is a cxGrid. I would be waiting for your valuable suggestions and waiting for your mails also. As I said, you could contact me once again. I would be showing my mail ID, vishualsoft vishualsoft @gmail.com, and that's it from my side for this seminar. I hope you would have enjoyed a lot, and waiting for your valuable feedback and suggestions. Thank you once again. Goodbye.